What is going on, Chiefs Kingdom? Welcome back to another episode of the Kingdom Says. We are back in action once again to talk about the Chiefs saving their season, getting a win, snapping their little losing streak that they were on. That just not a fun time in the past couple of weeks. Not a very fun time in Chiefs Kingdom, and it's a lot better now because we got a win. We got a dub. The playoffs are still in our grasps, and there's a lot of confidence going on this Victory Monday. So I'm your host, as always, Garrett Williams. Tonight, I'm joined by two fine, distinguished gentlemen. We got Kyle Henning making his return. He missed the past couple episodes. Kyle, how you doing?
Better after this weekend for sure.
Yeah.
With the way the Chiefs played. Life be lifing and things. So I've been a little unavailable the last couple of episodes, and then we couldn't go last week because all of us had 7,000 things happening at the same time. So we missed you guys. Sorry. We were going to do a Friday episode, and then we didn't get to do the Friday episode, and then we didn't get a chance to put the tweet out that said, hey, we're not doing an episode. Sorry. So for everybody that reached out, because I had several of you ask me, hey, you guys all right? Yes, we're fine.
Yep.
Life exists, and sometimes it gets in the way of crap that it shouldn't get in the way of. But we're back, and the Chiefs are back? Question mark?
They're back. We didn't even have to talk about the bad times, so we're already right into the good times. So also join us.
I can give you my Denver sum-up notes. Don't suck. Good God, that was bad. All right, move on.
Pretty similar to the notes that we had in the Bills game, so you guys didn't miss anything, I promise. Also joining us, Randy Ellenberger. How you doing tonight, Randy?
I'm doing well. I am doing well. It is, it's good to be back. It's good to be talking Chiefs ball after a win, even though at times we tried our damnedest to give that one away. But we're back on the winning side of things. Things are looking good, and I'm looking forward to whooping up on the Cowgirls on Thursday because my family has a long-running bet of like when our teams play. Like my brother's, I have a brother who's a Cowboys fan, so
he was a small.
After the Chiefs win, he'll have to take a picture in a Chiefs jersey. I get to make fun of him for a while, and we do all the fun things. So,
sir, are you telling me your brother was a small, impressionable child in the '90s?
That he was, yes.
Oh, okay,
that he was, and he has not gotten any smarter to jump that sinking ship. But
he also had no. They also see the '90s. Garrett were a weird time. They didn't have access to the internet to know that Michael Irvin was doing thousands of pounds of cocaine in the NFL season, allegedly.
Yes, just
allegedly, Mike. Allegedly, and I'm not judging you for it. It's just it was a different time.
Yeah, he was young and
Troy Aikman was getting carried around by Emmitt Smith in a backpack along with that defense and that offensive line because, we've seen what Troy Aikman in Kansas City when they get together, how that goes.
We know how that goes.
Shout out Josh Briscoe. If you don't know, you can look up that lore.
100%. 100%. Yeah. Yeah, great way to start out the episode. Talking about the good old days. We're here to talk about the good current days, which is the Chiefs. Not sucking at least this week. Asterisk at least this week. The Chiefs did not suck, although they still kind of sucked.
Fourth quarter in overtime.
We had
quarter in overtime.
We had moments.
There's definitely
some talk mostly about the fourth quarter in overtime.
There was definitely some grim moments where it was like, all right, this is I guess just how the season is. I guess we just suck this year. With some of the turnover on literally the second play of our offensive drive. Just what is it? What do we know? An RPO gets sniffed out and gets a quick little quick tipped and intercepted.
A self-tip drill. Self-tip drill.
Like that's nice. That's very nice.
Another one.
And then just early on, seemed like we were following the same script, right? That we've seen for at least for the past couple of weeks of just like the Bills game, the Broncos game, just like nothing.
I mean, so for whatever reason, when Patrick throws interceptions down by his own goal line, they're always tipped to the same person that tipped it and then caught and run. Yeah. Like remember the Chargers game a few years ago, and this game, and it's just always something goofy. And then they go down, drive all the way down the field, they score a touchdown, and then we get an imaginary penalty on Jawan Taylor, which
crazy.
I will say this: imaginary face mask penalty, but goddamn was that a holding penalty as well? So it would have been coming back from something anyway.
I don't know about that.
No, that was flat out. Jawan was
The craziest part is them saying, "Oh yeah, this is reviewable," but they ain't gonna
Yeah.
review it.
And then
It was a
not
scoring-
reviewing it,
It
which
was a
is
scoring play, but
utterly
yeah, we won't
insane.
review it. Yeah, okay, that's
And,
cool.
and again, that's a replay. Like, hey, replay assist.
Hey,
What
do
are
your
you
job.
there for?
Yeah, all these new
Like,
fancy technologies that we have. Where are you? Where are you going?
Legitimately, like,
Yeah.
what is the purpose of replay assist if they just pick and choose when to use it instead of using it when it's applicable? Like, I would understand if it's something that they can't replay assist with, which, by the way, if you have replay assist, like, barring some subjective calls, like, you shouldn't be able to replay assist PI. You can't replay assist regular holding. Fine. But black and white letter of the law calls, timing things, spotting the
Yeah.
ball.
Why not? Why are more
use
things
it.
not reviewable? Yeah, just review it.
Like,
We have the
what are we
footage.
doing?
Yeah,
Right.
and it's even worse
we
when
have the technology.
Yeah, and it's even worse when the rules analyst of the program comes on and it's like, yeah, that was actually not a penalty at all, Jim.
Right.
Back to you. Yeah. You know, it's like, come on.
Heavens.
Come on, dude.
And
There is
Like,
still
by the
just
way,
so
this isn't
many
a
weird
this isn't
things
a
in the
refs
NFL.
for the Chiefs podcast. This is a the refs suck podcast. We've made that very clear for years.
But
They
there's so
are
many weird things in the
horrible.
NFL when it comes to officiating that just doesn't make sense. Like in this multi-billion-dollar empire that the NFL is, why are the officials not full-time employees?
Yeah. Yeah.
They don't want to pay them health insurance.
Yeah.
I mean,
how dare they want health insurance?
Which is absurd, by the way, because as you just mentioned, they're a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Shoot, that one ref could really use the guy who.
These guys should be full-time employees.
Yeah.
They should be watching and reviewing film of every team each week, nonstop.
They should be answering questions in press conferences, all of them,
and
not
being,
one guy,
and
not
being
one
held
reporter.
accountable. And being held accountable for their actions or lack thereof.
Everybody else is.
It is a farce how the NFL runs their officiating. It is just
it's crazy,
abysmal, beyond belief.
All to say, they were
I digress.
they
were getting off track, but
awful. They were awful all game. It was absurd.
And for both sides too. I mean, obviously, everyone always thinks it's always in the Chiefs' favor. But yeah, we already talked about a couple. There was a lot of really, really bad calls from both. It's just a bad look for the NFL in general, right? Like I don't know how their PR hasn't just like eventually been like, okay, we have to do something about this. Like we get killed every week about these damn refs that just suck at their jobs. Like we have to
all the things that Roger Goodell picks on or like nitpicks and then wants to change and fix and do the things like, all right,
that's a pretty big one. Yeah, maybe we stop moving the draft every year and we just pay the refs. I don't know, just 1 year.
Or I don't know. They're separate departments. Have separate people manage those things. God, I know that's crazy.
Right. I don't know.
Neither here nor there because later on in the game, I feel like the refs weren't as much of the topic, which was good. You know, obviously people are going to talk about the refs and like, oh, all the calls favored them in the first and second quarter. Who cares what you have so much time after that to actually make up for those dumb calls. And like I said, it happened on both sides.
That call took 4 points off the board, so that hurt.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's crazy.
But and then you know,
too.
It was, and you go through, and then they go down there and they're in the red zone again, and another field goal. And then so now it was 14-9 at halftime, and you're sitting there going, they've controlled the entire game, and they spotted them 7 points, and then they gave up the 15-play script drive, which was the second drive, because the first drive they had to go 4 yards to score a touchdown.
Yeah.
So, like, then after that, they didn't do nothing.
Nope.
They had 2 field goals the rest of the game. Like that
defense,
the
defense showed up and did their job. I'll tell you what.
Finally,
that's one of the better performances of the year.
Yeah, and we got to give credit to the man up front, Chris Jones. We've been critical of him, especially Randy. You know,
I have been pretty critical of Chris all year.
But this game, he really showed up and showed out. And not in the stat sheet didn't end up showing it as much, but I know just the impact on the field that he made. There was an article written by I forget who it was written by, but the athletic writer for the Kansas City Now about
Jesse?
Chris Jones basically. Yeah, Jesse. What's his last name? Newell. That's what I thought. But I didn't want to say it and be wrong.
Former KC Star reporter, so now I can actually read his articles because he doesn't work for them anymore. What?
Yeah, except for New York Times, so you got to pay for those articles. But either way, yeah.
Garrett, I'll send you a way to do that.
Oh,
offline.
I have Athletic for like $1 a year. They gave me a
Mm.
crazy deal, so it's neither here nor there. But he wrote an article about how Chris, after that Kareem fumble, really just got the whole crowd pumped up and going, and
He did.
that fired up the sidelines, that fired up the defense. You know, they were out there. They got a 3-and-out, I think, immediately after that fumble. I mean, the last 4 offensive drives for the Colts in the game were 3-and-outs. And I don't think they
They
ran
had
the ball
18
one time.
yards.
Yeah, they ran the ball one time, I think, in overtime with Jonathan Taylor, and it got like a -2-yard
They
loss.
ran it a couple of times.
Yeah,
He ran in one of the other plays to get him close to being 3rd and short.
right. Yeah, but I know the first one of the half, I think he had was a -2-yard loss by Drew Tranquil getting in there. So the defense, I mean, just hats off to them. They deserve a lot of the credit for keeping us in this game as long as they did. Definitely some really impressive performances. The D line got more pressure. You know, I mean, it's still room to be desired, but
0 sacks on the day, but pressure.
yeah, but they got more pressure.
40%
And Daniel Jones
pressure rate? 40.6, I think, is what Ben Solak put out.
Okay, that's not that's kind of been the theme of the Chiefs this year is pressures, not sacks. But it definitely seemed like Daniel Jones was disrupted. I mean, there's a good amount of times, especially in the fourth quarter and in overtime, where he was severely disrupted by some of the pass rush and some of the blitzes too. I mean, Spags was in his bag a little bit this game with some of the blitz packages and stuff that he was rolling out. So that was cool.
I think it was.
So that's a really good offensive line for the Colts. Like that's a good Colts offensive line.
Yeah, it is.
And they bullied them in lots of, especially in the run game where they've made their hay this year for the Colts.
Yeah,
like
Taylor,
if you've watched the Colts this year, at all, they can run the ball pretty much at will against everybody they've come up against, which is why Daniel Jones is having such a good season because
that does help.
He's like, oh, I have 7 days to stand back here because they're worried about the run. Cool. Here's play action. I have even longer. Neat.
Yeah.
And so you've seen deep balls to Alec Pierce and Michael Pittman getting involved and Tyler Warren, who, by the way, did anybody see Tyler Warren in the game? It seemed to be
not very much,
missing persons poster.
It was just surprising because
I mean, it's
tight ends are usually Chiefs kryptonite, and he did not do much. Yeah,
you saw more of a certain defensive back that we've been wondering why he hasn't been playing.
Yeah,
Mr. Hicks,
not rocket science. Yeah, Jaden Hicks getting out on the field, and he made a pretty good. He was out there a good amount too.
He did get yelled at by Trent on one of the plays late in the game because Trent was having a heart attack of I can't cover both of these dudes. Somebody get over here.
Yeah.
But look, that defensive line, Chris said, not today, kids. We're done with this.
Mm-hmm.
And most of Jonathan Taylor's yards came on one play, which shout out Brian Cook for the touchdown saving tackle. Because and that's another guy outside of Chris. That dude's having a phenomenal year and not being talked about. He's coming off. Well, I mean, he did have a nasty injury that took a while to come back from. So I'm not surprised.
I've been critical of Cook for a couple of years now, and he is finally putting. I'm still waiting for those impact plays, like a big pick when we need it, or a forced fumble, some kind of defensive touchdown, like that wow play I'm waiting for.
Yeah,
but he has been solid this year. Finally, solid.
Speaking of picks and wow plays, Nick Bolton stopped Shamari Connor from making a house call.
Bolton had an opportunity a couple times to.
Well, I know, but the one I'm specifically thinking of, Daniel Jones tried desperately to throw an interception because Bolton and Shamari Connor were both like, "Oh, that's mine," and nobody said, "Hey, I got it."
Right.
And of course, they run into each other, and that ball pops up in the air, lands on the ground, and I was like, "God, yai." That was 6. That was 6 points.
There is also the possibility that Connor may have dropped that as well. So,
yeah, you know a guy who wouldn't have dropped
that was
you guys
that was a potato.
Yeah, you guys know a guy who wouldn't have dropped that ball. Our other co-host, Arrowhead Tom. Hey! Tom, how's it going? He's alive.
He's
not dead.
Why is my hold on?
What's happening, brother?
Okay, well, I guess
we're here. We can see you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Can you see me?
you can.
It's
Yeah,
just like me
We
on
can
my
see you.
screen. I have a gray screen with the flashing white
Yeah, mine's showing
logo.
me a little bit. Wow, what a
You can see me.
strangely that's on par for the night. Hello,
Yeah.
guys. Good to
Hey,
see
Tom, how's it
you.
going?
Glad to hear you
It's Monday,
talking
man.
about the Chiefs
It's one of those
almost
Mondays.
getting in. It is very much a Monday night. I apologize for. Well, I guess we're recording on a Monday night. I apologize for being late. I don't know if you
Fine.
guys know this, but the NFL they were doing this new program for this past game where they were using these uh, the reusable penalty flags, and they just threw them all out there on the field. So I had to go back and pick them all up. So I was out there picking up just a stupid amount of penalty flags from the game. I volunteered to help out with that. Good Samaritan over here. So that's what took me so long to get here. Definitely wasn't asleep in
Yeah.
my bed, ignoring my alarm unintentionally.
That's exactly what. Yeah, that's exactly what
That
we all
is
thought.
right.
Penalty flags.
Gary
Yeah.
called that
Go
one.
back from Arrowhead, cleaning up
Yep.
the field.
Well, we're happy to have you here, Tom. We you didn't miss much. We just talked about how the defense had a really good day. Chris Jones, who's the guy that we've been very critical of, showed up really big time. A couple other defenders, Brian Cook had a really good day. Another guy that doesn't get talked about a lot that's having a really, really good year is Jalen Watson. He's a guy that's it's gonna be unfortunate when we lose one or both of Jalen Watson and Brian Cook next year because those are two guys that have really had really good seasons so far. And Jalen Watson, I mean, shoot, I don't know. His market's going to be sizable, and he's probably going to unfortunately get outpriced by the Chiefs. I would find a way to keep him. I don't know. I would find a way to keep him if you can.
Can I make a suggestion to Chiefs defenders who are coming up on contract options? Call your boys. Call Colin Saunders.
Cowboys. Yeah.
Call Turk.
Mm-hmm.
Call Justin Reed.
Call Justin Reed. Call
The grass is not always
Juan
greener,
Thornhill.
fellas.
Call
The
Juan
grass is not
Thornhill.
greener.
Yeah. Call Juan Thornhill, Brian. Call Juan. Please
Yeah.
do. Because there may be more dollars, but you also may move 3 cities in your next contract
And lose.
and lose a ton.
Yeah.
And we, for whatever reason, have seen the only guy who's like excelled after leaving Kansas City and getting paid, like excelled. We played him on Sunday.
Charv. Yeah. Shout out Charv, by the way. Dude's a baller and has gone through a lot. So
Right.
really
Which
happy.
I feel a little bad
because
because Kingsley crushed him on that block, and I was like,
Shout out to boy Charv, the Super Bowl champion, forever Chiefs legend. But he did have to.
While I hate that penalty, I hate that flag. Like,
yes,
it's also one of those.
I don't like the
one of those
rule.
penalties that you'll take because that's a tone setter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like the rule because he's
like
looking at him coming.
No, I don't like the rule.
Look, I understand the player
defender
safety
saw him
aspect.
coming. Like if the defender doesn't
That's the
see him
part.
coming, you blindside a guy, they can't see you.
He's looking at him,
Shark
and he's 300
looking
pounds.
right at Kingsley coming, and
It's
he
a big
was
red
going,
blur. You should be able to see that in any peripheral.
This is gonna hurt.
There was no peripheral. He was staring down the gun barrel.
180 degree view. You should be able to see that big.
I don't like that rule, but I'll take that penalty because that's a tone setter. I like.
Yeah.
But I do feel a little bad because Char was coming off a concussion and then got obliterated by a 300-pound man. So not great. But like I said, just to the Chiefs defenders that are coming up on contract options.
Yeah. Go find
think
Willie.
about
all those guys.
Yeah. Willie Gay is another one. Just go ask your boys, hey, I know you guys took some paychecks. Was it worth it? I bet if you ask Colin Saunders that question right now, the answer to that is no.
Nope.
I mean, hey, you'll still get a paycheck from us, just be a little bit smaller, but a lot more happiness.
Call Tyron. Call the Badger. He'll tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun going back home to New Orleans, but it sucked because we were awful and I retired because I couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah, right. It'll be interesting to see what our DB room looks like next year because there's not a lot of guys under contract besides we still have Chamari, I think, and we still have Noel Williams, who has become a ghost these past couple weeks, I think.
The combination, looking forward to that, like the combination of Hicks and Connor isn't terrible in my eyes.
And you have a 5th-year option for Trent still, so he'll still be here.
Yeah. I would say that Mr. Watson will be no longer roaming Arrowhead, which will be
like
sad.
I said, I would just caution them, like, hey, if it's $18 million a year versus $14 million a year and $15 million a year,
Just sign some
maybe
endorsement
factor in
deals.
some
You know,
things.
just get you a barbecue
Call
deal
Pat.
like Creed and Trey
Call
did,
Pat.
and get
Yeah.
you maybe getting
Get it
a
on some of those State
State
Farm
Farm
commercials.
commercial or something.
Pat and Trav have a restaurant. Get us endorsement deal from those two for $15.87.
Right?
Yeah. Tom, hey Tom,
There's ways,
what did you think of the defense, Tom? What was your impression of the defense from this game?
On paper, obviously, it was a weird. Well, I think it's the Chiefs were playing, so we know it was a strange and weird game. I was pretty. There were some moments I was pretty frustrated with the defense. And we've talked about it a lot. It sounds like we've given Chris Jones his flowers for showing up the way he did, which is awesome. We really need and have needed more guys on that D line to show up. I know George was going to push, but like George is like, George is if we're talking baseball, like he's your solid 2 or 3 hitter, right? You're not putting him in to get you your home runs. He'll get on base for you. He'll clean up. He'll set the edge. But outside of Chris, like, man, it was just brutal watching some of the other guys, struggle out there. So, it was also baffling to not see us bring Colin Saunders in. It seemed like that was an easy layup. Seems like he wanted to be here.
It didn't seem like that man said, "I tried, y'all."
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's no seem like that man was like,
yeah.
Guys?
Listen, I was going to buy him barbecue if he came back. So like that part is confusing. So, but beyond that, Chris Jones did his job, rally the troops. Arrowhead was rocking.
Arrowhead.
A lot of guys had really good days. Leo Chenal was out there doing Leo Chenal stuff. Drew came up big in a couple big spots.
Yeah, Drew had a pretty good game, especially in the run game.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, Brian Cook was, like you guys were just talking about, was another guy who showed up, and he was just flying around the field. I think it's the most comfortable. I think this season is the most comfortable I've seen him probably since his rookie year. I know Kyle mentioned the injury that he had. Like, it just feels like he's flying. And I thought Jaden Hicks flashed, and when Jaden Hicks was doing his thing, that let Shamari to play, kind of more in the box, more downhill, which, that's nice for everybody. A little less worried about coverage. Now, Shamari got beat early in one of those crosser routes, but you can't have it all.
Okay, I mean, so let me do this. They gave up 10 first downs to a Colts offense that's averaging 3 points a drive, like 3.4 points a drive. They gave up 10 first downs. The Colts were 5 for 13 on fourth down, or on third down. Sorry. They gave up a total of 255 yards of offense. Now, part of that is because Pat gave them the ball at the 3 on the first drive they had the ball. I get it. Mm-hmm. They gave up 74 rushing yards total.
Yeah, John Taylor only had, 58, 59?
68, I think. But 181 passing.
No, he only had 58 because I know he didn't. I bet on him to have 60, so I remember I was like, nice. Of course.
So yeah, 181 passing yards and 74 rushing yards. They were only 2 of 4 in the red zone.
Yeah,
they
didn't get to the red zone very frequently either.
4 consecutive 3-and-outs in the fourth quarter. They gave up 18 yards after the fourth quarter start. 18.
That's clutch.
The Chiefs outgained the Colts 236-18 in the fourth quarter and overtime. Okay?
Pretty crazy.
The defense basically didn't give up a drive after the first 15-play drive, which was the second touchdown. Mm-hmm. They absolutely took one of what is supposed to be one of the best offenses in football, and Chris Jones and that secondary, and Nick Bolton had a good day, but despite breaking up the interception for Chamari Connor.
Yeah.
Which Nick almost caught it too, and then he dropped another pick too that hit him damn near in the head.
Just throwing it to him. You can't catch it, but that's all right. That's whatever.
But
We know
legitimately, I want to go. Jonathan Taylor had 16 carries for 58 yards, guys. That is yet another running back put in the graveyard by Spags in this defense.
Yeah.
The only guy this year that's still playing is James Cook, had 100 yards. Cam Scatterbo had his best day, but that's because Cam Scatterbo didn't have any other days before that. And unfortunately for Cam, not too many after it either because he got hurt. But their best receiver on the day was Tyler Warren with 5 for 45. Ashton Doolin had 1 catch for 48, which was that weird crosser Tom was talking about where Shamari got caught in the wash and he got out the left and got down the sideline. But Michael Pittman was 5 for 27. Alec Pierce had 1 catch.
Yeah. Josh Downs only had 2 catches for 10 yards. Yeah, the
I
Colts
didn't know
offense.
Mo Alley Cox was still in the league, but Mo Alley Cox had a catch.
Also, whatever Andrew Ogletree was
he had a touchdown catch.
Yeah,
that's his first catch of the year or 5th or
he
something.
had both.
Not
He his first 2 catches were for 8 yards and a touchdown in this game.
Yeah, the Colts offense, they came in. They were one of the best. I mean, this is one of the best offenses in the league. Like historically, they've only had like the amount of times they've punted this year was like an all-time historical low so far. Like they've
actually punted the most. They have the most punts, which is weird.
They have the most punts? I thought they had the least
punts.
Yeah, no, they're the weird offense. They punted more than damn near anybody, and also were averaging like 3.5 points a drive.
Yeah, well, I remember like their first
like really weird combination.
No, the Broncos. Hold on, no, the Broncos have the most punts. The Colts
I
have
thought the Colts had not.
Oh, maybe I had it backwards. Okay.
Yeah. No, the Colts just got to like I think their first punt of the game was their 20th punt of the season.
Okay.
Yeah,
so,
I think that's because I know they went like their first like 3 or 4 games without even punting in general. Like I know that was like a crazy thing. So this offense has been really, really good. And then the past couple weeks they've kind of been on a little bit of a slide. And I know just looking at some Colts fans mentions and stuff like that, they're very not happy with how Shane Steichen started calling that offense. Especially those last 4 drives, obviously, where there was not very many runs. They basically abandoned the run. Did not give it to John Taylor at all, which how can you blame them? Because it wasn't very productive when they were doing it. I mean, I don't know how many negative rushes that they had, but there was a good amount that definitely discourages you from rushing the ball. That's what people always forget. All these people who are all like, it happened when we played the Ravens every time and they stopped giving it to Derrick Henry. It's like, they stopped running the ball because it's not working for them. That's the whole thing. Like the negative rushes start adding up, and then it's like, okay, we're not going to run the ball anymore, I suppose, and also the looming threat of the Chiefs always wanting to score because, if you don't score, the Chiefs are probably going to score after you, so you better score right here. It's always more of a mental battle for these opposing offenses,
When Spags says, hey, your quarterback's going to have to beat us, you're not going to run the ball. Yeah. They've proven that 1,000 times. They will let bad teams run the ball all day long if they don't believe in your running game and they're more worried about your quarterback, or they're not focused on just taking away the run game. But when they walk in and it's Derrick Henry, or it's even Saquon earlier this year in the game that they lost, or insert your feature back here,
all of them,
if that's the main driver of your offense, and especially in games where they're not scared of your quarterback, that's part of the reason James Cook ran the way he did. They have to respect Josh more.
Yeah.
And I know that's going to sound a bit disrespectful to Lamar because they just look at Derrick Henry and go, no, Lamar beat us. And so far, it's worked.
Yeah.
But, they just don't care. And they damn sure don't care if Daniel Jones is your quarterback. Spags is like, yeah, that's cute. I'm going to heat his ass up, and you're not running the ball.
We'll make Daniel some ghosts again. Right?
Legitimately, Garrett talked about it earlier. The blitz packages. Spags was like, oh, here you go.
Yeah.
Let me see if you can figure out which way we're coming from. They had guys mugged up in the A gap and in the B gap. In half the snaps, you had 2 or 3 linebackers standing on the line of scrimmage between Chris and whichever defensive tackle was in there. He was like, yeah, go ahead. Who's coming? Oh, by the way, the corner came. Just kidding. We dropped these guys out.
Yeah.
And
it's a good game plan. It's a really good game plan.
When you're Daniel Jones, that's tough. part of the reason they get a lot of pressures and not a lot of sacks. These quarterbacks are like, shit, I don't know where it's coming from. Got to get out quick. It's got to be a check down to the running back or the quick little 3-yard route to the wide receiver. And this defense tackles well.
Oh, yeah.
Especially the secondary. They took a lot of what Daniel Jones didn't attempt to pass over 20 yards for the first time all season in this game.
Mm-hmm.
So they took away the run game entirely, and they took away the deep passing game. What does that leave you?
Not a lot. Not a lot.
Little bitty area of the field.
It was finally nice to see like what we've been talking about the last couple of weeks. So it was like taking the gloves off. Like, no more screwing around, no more vanilla this, no more just, you know what? Play our style of defense, light people up, put pressure on them, and just stop screwing around.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys this.
Finally.
Let me ask you guys this. The press conferences this week, after the last game where Chris was basically like, they knew what we were going to do. And then Patrick, which turned into some kind of, from people that aren't familiar with Patrick and Andy, that was somehow controversial and stupid stuff. But there were both of them, both sides of the ball basically said, hey, it's time. And those are your two leaders.
Yeah.
That's the head of your defense and the head of your offense. And while I don't think they're calling the coaching staff out, the press conferences usually mirror somewhat of the conversation inside the building between them. And when both of your leaders are like, it's time to take the gloves off, kids. It's time to start playing games like they matter. For me, I don't know how everybody else feels. That's why I'm asking this question to you. Do you think that was kind of the message from, because Andy has 51% of the vote, but this stuff is all kind of done as a unit, whether it's the players, the coaches, everybody kind of coabs and collaborates. Right. And those comments to me said the players told the coaches, we're done. Let's go. Turn it loose, cut it loose, unlock the books, pull out the plays. It's playoff time right now.
See,
we have to go.
You said it right there, and I'm gonna. This had a playoff game feel to it because it was like we can't lose another one. We can't lose more than 2 more games the rest of the season if we have a hope of grabbing this wild card. So it was taking gloves off defensively. It's light them up and bring some pressure, and like we've been saying the last couple of weeks as well, run the goddamn football and do it under center and have some play action. And what do you know? It's like they watch the podcast and then they listen to us from what we've been preaching because Kareem had 30 carries, over 100 yards. Like it was a physical football game. And then that opened up a lot of those crossers for Rasheed and stuff later because the linebackers had to come up and bite because we actually were running the football well. They have to honor it. Their first step has to be forward. That allows people to get behind you. And it finally, our offense at time looked like it's supposed to.
There's still some things. I still think Patrick is going through his reads a little quick, and I know Romo talked about it ad nauseum on the broadcast.
I'll give you that, but it is all predicated on running the football, and it's not this sidecar shotgun bullshit one game that our guys are built for.
And by the way, when they did the sidecar shotgun bullshit at the 1 yard line, they lost 3 yards. Instead of throwing a touchdown, we kicked a field goal to go to overtime.
I have been screaming this from the rooftop. Our guys are not built for that. They are built for under center, get downhill, one cut, get vertical, and go.
So here's the thing. Kareem Hunt is the first running back under Andy Reid in Kansas City to have 30 carries. Nobody's ever had 30 carries for the Chiefs with Andy Reid. Nobody.
That's crazy.
The last guy was Jamal Charles in 2012 to have 30 carries. He had 144 yards on those 30 carries in 2012. I can't remember which site tweeted that out. Somebody did.
Crazy. That's pretty crazy to think about. I mean,
I want to say it was our friends over at KCSN, but I can't remember.
I wonder rush attempts in general in a game has a team had more. I wonder because it was basically just Kareem.
One specific back has not had 30 carries.
Yeah, one specific back. Yeah,
I think run overall, it more than 30 times, but he's no one guy has had it.
Yeah, it was a good showing that. I think, and to kind of answer your question, Kyle, of was this a little bit of like a wake, like I think both sides. I think the players and coaches probably just both realized, like, finally, like, okay, we have however many weeks of examples of like what works, what's not, and we have to just we can't keep on doing the same things anymore. Like, we have to. I think it was definitely a collaborative effort between both parties of like, okay, let's just really go back to the basics here. Let's establish the run. Let's actually run the ball. We saw it a little bit last year when like the Saints game when Kareem had all those carries and a couple other times when they really fed him the ball. Like, that's what
when they signed Kareem last year, they ran him like 25 times a game for like
just, like, out the gate. They're
6
like, all right,
weeks.
Kareem, you're running the ball. Welcome back. This is just this is your welcome back moment.
I don't know if it was a punishment last year, like, hey, we're gonna make you pay for what you
maybe maybe not punishment, but more like proving your stripes once again. It's
sure.
Like, hey, get the redemption back. But I think just in general, like the shift of the mindset to be back to older Andy offenses. Like, this still looked like an Andy offense. It just we haven't seen this Andy offense in a couple years. Just that whatever his offense has turned into has been not this. I mentioned it, I think, a couple weeks ago when we were talking about Clyde getting elevated and Clyde into the practice squad and stuff. Clyde's first game as a pro versus the Bills way back when, it looked very similar. Like, it looked very similar to this game
all over
plan.
The place.
Like, they were running the ball consistently. Like, that was back in 2020, obviously. Like, those early Patrick Mahomes offenses, like, there was a lot of running the ball and keeping under center stuff and play action and keeping defenses honest. And I think the evolution has just become, relying too much on Patrick and having him make these superhero plays on all these RPOs and stuff. And we needed to just get back to the basics. And they definitely.
Alex Smith said that on NFL Countdown.
Yeah.
Alex Smith has more room to talk about Andy and this Chiefs offense
than
anybody on the planet.
Yeah, if anyone would know how this offense should look with Pat, I think
him and Mitch Schwartz have free reign to say whatever the hell.
It's very interesting that those two former players have been very critical about
very vocal
and stuff like that, which is, I mean, it's valid. It's super valid, and maybe even part of that is part of the wake up call of like hearing. There's probably so many outside voices. Internal voices are one thing, like inside the building, but I'm sure there's so many outside people who are just like, what is going on with this? Like, how are you guys not realizing inside the building that we can all see it on the outside?
Garrett, I wonder if specifically, like, most of the time they ignore the outside stuff, especially Andy. But you have to know that Alex saying certain things and Mitch saying certain things got back to him. There's no way it doesn't. No chance.
A couple of those.
I wonder if because it's those two dudes who are so heavily respected by the coaching staff in that building, they didn't go, well, they do have a point.
Right. Yeah. I was trying to think of like who they would really like listen the most to, especially Andy. Like, a couple former players like that, super well established. Or if there's like, I could see other like former coaches and stuff talking. Like, I know Antonio Pierce has kind of been in the media and stuff like that, doing things. And I know he was at camp this past year. I'm sure there's a couple guys, a couple former coaches who probably reached out and like, hey, what's going on with you guys? Like,
I give you that list. That list includes him. It includes John Gruden, which I know some people will be like, what? Like, Gruden and Andy go way back.
There's a couple of former coaches that, that would definitely be in.
Lou Riddick.
Yeah, Lou, yeah.
Alex and Mitch, I think, are probably, if you had to pick five, maybe Michael Vick, like that group of 5 or 6. Because remember, Andy has a ton of respect and loves Michael Vick too.
Yeah, he was a coaching a little while ago.
Right.
Just all the people who have most definitely just mentioned something's wrong.
Right, and so
that gets you to eventually.
Tom, go ahead, because I want you to answer it before I say what else I was going to say, because I want you to answer the question too that I asked, because everybody else took their shot. So
remember the question, Tom?
We've been in the weeds for a minute. What was the question?
I
had a different train of thought.
If in the press conferences kind of mirroring the conversation in the building with Patrick and Chris both saying the things that they said this week and last week, and whether or not that was part of the adjustment from Spags, who, decided maybe on third down we shouldn't play zone, and also and blitz, like, you're supposed to, because that's what you do, and stop trying to be cute. And then Patrick on the other side going, "Hey, dog, I don't care, RPO under center. I just want to win football games." That was the quote. And people were like, he's calling Andy out. No.
Yeah.
Okay. But on that line, like, is that a factor in what we saw Sunday, which was 30 carries for Kareem Hunt, several for Clyde, who a couple of times I wish they'd stop hanging him out to dry, trying to run him out of shotgun. Let him run the ball like Kareem does, and it won't look so goddamn bad.
352 passing yards. I didn't even realize Mahomes ended up with 352 at the end of that.
Sure did.
Crazy. Yeah.
Most of that in the fourth quarter and overtime.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to speak, I guess more, it's hard sometimes to speculate exactly what those internal conversations or even those conversations outside.
That's what we're here for.
You know, yeah. I do remember while watching the game. Shout out to our boy Mike Kafka over in New York, throwing together some weird passes to Jameis Winston. And there was a moment where I went, man, like, I mean, I don't want that every play, like whatever, but there was that level of creativity, that level of movement has definitely been lacking. It just has felt like, and I will call out, I tweeted this out, if the Chiefs never run another RPO again, I won't be upset.
I'm fine.
And it does feel like they, to kind of what Pat said, which was, when he was talking about Lou Amarillo, the defensive coordinator for the Colts, hey, he doesn't pigeonhole his players into his scheme. He builds a scheme around them. And we all kind of went, Pat, what are you trying to say, Mr. Petty? I don't know if that was a shot at Andy as much as some people might think it was.
It was a compliment to Lou. That's what it was. Look, Lou's had his number, and they've had problems with Lou's defenses for 5 years.
Long time.
Oh, yeah, no, Lou is a phenomenal coach.
And Patrick was giving Lou a hat tip. That was a compliment. Now, could you interpret it as a shot if you've been frustrated with the way that the things have been taking place in Kansas City with both sides of the ball from the coaching staff? As a fan, sure, because fan is short for fanatic, and that's what fans do. But Patrick, that was a compliment to Lou. Like, that's legitimately, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, that's a compliment to Lou Anarumo. And then I saw all the replies to it, and I was like, and that's how it can be interpreted.
Yeah.
Well, I think there is a little bit of subtext, just a little bit.
It was just like foreshadowing,
Yeah, I think the RPO thing just we don't have the horses for it. We don't have the backs for it, right? Pacheco can make it work.
Now. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Pacheco can make it work, kind of. And obviously, I would not speak ill of Kareem Hunt, but that's not his game, right? Kareem is,
dude's a warrior.
Line me up, let me go punch you in the face, and I'll drag you for 3 or 4 extra yards. And I don't think it fits what our offensive line is built to do. And so often, like we talk about the speeding up of Pat's process, right? When you're in an RPO heavy system, you get used to moving faster than the normal pace of an offense because you're making that decision. That's your it's snap, decide, run, pass, run. And I think when you talk about him being sped up a little bit with his progressions and his process, it's probably because he's still kind of operating on, we'll call it Chip Kelly time. Ask the Raiders how well that's worked out for him.
He's unemployed. He was unemployed as of like less than 24 hours ago. But yeah.
So I think getting away from that specifically, and giving the offense like a clear sense of identity. We're gonna run this thing, and then when we can't run it no more, we're gonna toss it down their throats. Now
it worked beautifully.
Yeah, it did work very well.
Until you got to the red zone, of course.
Until we got to the red zone, but again, you got to figure that out. I was tweeting about it, and Garrett, I think you were in on that conversation about, where Xavier Worthy's at this year in terms of his progression and the ability to beat man.
That last catch though,
Yeah,
I don't know how you don't watch that last catch and be like, "This is the greatest receiver to ever play the game." I don't know how you don't say that.
He has
one arm and one
not
leg.
a disrespect thing for Xavier. It's entirely just an acknowledgement of one, the kid's tough as nails for playing through,
Tough as
the
nails.
shoulder injury. Yeah,
you mentioned the shoulder, Tom, in your tweet, but you didn't even talk about the fact that he's playing on one foot.
I mentioned
Like
that.
I know he doesn't want to talk about it, and I know they don't really want to bring it up, but he's been questionable with an ankle injury on top of the shoulder for like 3 weeks, and he came off the field twice in this game. One of the times he launched his helmet like a football.
Yeah,
because he's hurting and it's pissing him off, and he doesn't have the wheels that he normally has.
Warrior and gets back out there. Love that dude.
I saw his progress tweet, and I'm like, yeah. And I know you acknowledge the shoulder, and the shoulder is one thing, but he can't run away from guys right now either because he's not full speed either.
Well, yeah.
With that being said, he's still getting behind guys.
He's still getting behind. I think some of it's also
which tells you how fast he is, because that's absurd.
Well, he's also just been off, I think, in terms of when you look like the comebacks and the kind of the breaking routes, right, in and out. If it's around it or whatever. So I mean, yes, it's again not.
They haven't given him the best routes either. That's always kind of the problem as well.
It's not to hate on him at all. It's just he hasn't had a really fair chance to develop that skill because, again, he's out there playing. We saw it. Was it last week that Taekwon had that deep pass and that deep catch, and you see him take his arms, and it's a split-second thing, and just real quick, he just kind of clears just takes both his hands, swipes away from the defender, and catches the ball. And with Xavier, it's just that type of nuance isn't there right now.
Yeah, there were a couple of those clips of. Something just happened to Tom. I don't know what just happened. Tom's gone. Kyle has he's back. Tom's back.
I'm back. Can you see me?
Yeah, we can see you. Yeah.
My camera had a stroke. I don't know what's happening. I'm here, but I'm not here.
All the technical issues.
Great technical issues of Kingdom Says. Yeah. I think the criticism of Worthy is it's okay, but I think people are going to be down on him still just because of how not productive he's been in comparison. But I don't
know if I can call it criticism. I just think it's important context to remember as you're watching him out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely important context. Yeah. Like I'm not holding that against him. He could have shut his season down week 2. He could have done a lot of things. Those conversations are important, and he's choosing to play. He's choosing to risk long-term stability. He's like, I have nothing but respect for him. I just think it's an important thing to note that he's not getting the chance to develop that important part of his game because of that injury. And I think that's fair. And I mean,
and also the whole offense, the ideal of the offense with, Rasheed and him and Hollywood's been a little bit dampered just by that. We haven't seen the fully healthy version of what that could be. It's been it's always something.
I want to highlight what Garrett said. They got to stop using him like he's Dexter McCluster or
D-Rob. They've been getting him D-Rob routes.
Insert
MBS
your
routes.
Gadget guy here nonsense. Like, let him run real routes.
Yeah, that's
the
big thing they need
to do. Last year as your main route runner, and he tore people up.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing about the Xavier Worthy conversation, too, is that if you look at what he was doing at the end of last year, like, look at some of those playoff performances that he had, like, they were
He was the only guy in the Super Bowl that showed up.
They were opening it up for him. They were letting him eat, and they were giving him good stuff. Like, he was producing meaningful snaps. Like, it really sucks that all these injuries this year have really hampered that, and he's still out there and still producing pretty good. But it's just
he's also not a healthy scratch, Keon Coleman. What?
Yeah, so that's another good sign. That's another really good sign. But I just think the progression. Also, I feel like people just have a different idea of what Xavier Worthy kind of should be. They obviously see the fast combine speed and think he's going to be another Tyreek when he's really not the same player as Tyreek. He's a lot different. Yeah, he's a lot different of a player than Tyreek. Like, a lot of his speed really comes from more like horizontal stuff than as opposed to Tyreek. That was a lot more vertical. Like, if you can get him on some deep crossers and stuff like that, and getting him, just like that's where he can.
So that's two things. The Chiefs in the fourth quarter and overtime said, they can't run with us.
Yeah.
They spammed the crosser button. I swear to God, they called crossers on every passing play in the fourth quarter.
Yeah,
and
to
over.
either
I don't
Rasheed
know
or Xavier.
what
or
the rest of the routes were, but Xavier and Rasheed ran crossing routes about 70 times in the fourth quarter and overtime.
Yeah,
They're running the ball. Rasheed and Xavier are running crossing routes.
Yeah,
They're throwing it deep.
has
Rasheed and Xavier are running crossing routes.
Yeah. The most impressive that absolute missile that Mahomes threw to Rasheed that ended up getting 47 yards.
Right.
Crazy. Yeah.
The 2-point conversion was a laser beam.
Yeah, 2-point conversion. Yeah, like
that 2-point ball that had some heat on it.
Pat turned it on a
I'm
little
just
bit.
glad he had the guy. I'm just glad he caught it because I was like, that might have taken my hands off my body. That ball was absolutely humming. Because when he went to throw it, I was like, there's no window that. Oh my God, that got through. Holy crap.
Rasheed had a hell of a game. I tell you what, eight catches for 141 yards. I mean, that is some good stuff. Yeah, he was
had
banged
8
up.
for 141, and he was limping for half of the
I hope he sits his
overtime.
ass down for the next 2 days straight.
Yeah, rest up, bro. You
work on that.
Go see. Hey, you go see Julie in the training room. Go see Miss Freimeyer. Go sit over there and let her fix your hamstring, please.
Work whatever magic she can on that hamstring for the next couple of days.
And Xavier, go sit right next to him and beg her to work on your ankle when she's not working on his hamstring.
And Travis and Chris, you get a couple of days off because I think Chris played all but 6 snaps, and I think Travis played the most snaps that
he 84 snaps for Travis Kelce in this game. 84. He is 36 years old. He is
almost classifies as elder abuse.
He is 4th in tight. Go look at his categories in the tight end group. He is 36 years old. He's a top 3 tight end if you average out all the categories. I think it's like 4, 2, 2, 1, 3, 4, 2. Like,
he's having a great year.
It's absurd.
And this might not even be
he was on the same field.
Might not even be the last
I don't know that it is. I know everybody's talked about it, and I know
that it's not, but I don't want to talk about it. Put any kind of jinx on it.
Right? Yeah. Don't.
And shout out Noah Gray for that catch you made with your crotch while you were unconscious. That was an effort.
That was kind of crazy one. And shout out number 97 Latu for going over there and checking on Noah.
Checking on him.
That was a really good gesture.
Tom talked about Kareem earlier, and first of all, that dude's going to spend the next 2 days in an ice bath, much like Chris and Travis need to just go sit somewhere and not move for the rest of the week.
I was going to say, I'm sure Rick was just sitting there watching that game going, oh, God, we're going to need a bigger ice bath.
Yeah.
Amazon.
Guys, fill up the jacuzzi tubs with ice. Forget putting water in it. All 3 of these boys are going to be in the ice tubs.
Kareem had 68 snaps and 30 carries.
That was a workload for the boys.
But I tweeted this as soon as the news came out. Mr. Pierce is on the Chiefs practice squad.
Yeah, Dameon Pierce, former Texans running back. Still very young.
I am near positive. And again, this is somewhat tongue-in-cheek, somewhat a joke. But I would be stunned if Kareem did not walk off that field into that locker room through that open walking area, and Brett was standing there, and he went, brother, I need help.
Right.
Now, Isaiah is supposed to be back for the Cowboys game, according to Jeremy Fowler earlier today, which is good.
Yeah, but on a short week signing Pierce, he probably won't be.
And I'm not one to try to call for people's jobs or have them fired or cut or whatever. But the Elijah Mitchell experiment is over. It's over. It's over.
Time to call it.
You've inactivated him twice in 3 weeks for Clyde.
Clyde over him now. Like, come on, you've
Clyde. You've inactivated him twice in 3 weeks for Clyde.
It's over. Clyde in 2025 over a free agent.
First of all, let's stop hating on Clyde.
I'm not hating on Clyde, but the process. They gave this man like a farewell
That wasn't for you. Garrett, that wasn't for you.
He was straight eyeballing me.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
No, I wasn't. He's directly below me. Because somebody decided to tweet some nonsense before the game, or even I think it was during the game, about Jonathan Taylor. And hey, just curious, How many yards did Jonathan Taylor have, Tom? Again, I was just 58 on 16 carries.
Yeah, but the solution is he doesn't have to play our defense if he's on our offense. So
That's cute. I understand, but there was some bass in your voice with that tweet to begin with, and then by the time it was done, there was far less bass in that tweet. It just felt weird.
How many yards did Clyde have?
He didn't have that many carries.
8. He had 8. Wait, no, he had 9 receiving yards too, so that makes 17.
Yep, it's 17.
And I always feel bad because I know Clyde's a great dude. I know he's been through a lot. I know he's worked his tail off to get to where he's at. When I say
especially now because it's come back from the mental stuff, which has been the most important thing about the whole situation. If you're not familiar with Clyde's story, specifically what he went through at LSU and what he's been dealing with for years since that, go look that up. It's November. I know it's not Mental Health Awareness Month this month, but it is a lot of other men's health initiatives. That one is the least talked about and least discussed one of all of them. And that dude has been through not only the mental health, but he's also been through a lot of physical damage when he was here.
Yeah. We like Clyde. We just don't. We would rather have better options over Clyde in the year of 2025.
And that's why I think the Damian Pierce signing is important.
He had a couple positive. I mean, I remember there was one time when I was like, wow, Clyde actually had a good run there. I think it was like a 2nd and 4 or something. He got like 6 yards on it. I was like, wow.
5 or 6 yards.
Yeah.
Because they ran the ball under center that time. He didn't run out of shotgun.
Yeah.
Crazy
enough. You just give him normal running plays too. You don't just run him out of shotgun. And he might play a little bit better too. But overall, the running back room, it's looking up with Damian Pierce addition. Pacheco's coming back. Like I said, Pierce probably won't play this year or this week. I had to guess.
Man, ever since he was in, that year he came out in the draft, I was like, this is a guy that I think was underused at Florida and had some real ability.
And then he was underused in Houston and
he had a great rookie season, and then
rookie year is crazy.
New coaching staff and completely changed the scheme, and he just disappeared.
Yeah, he's still what 25 years old. Like a lot of he hasn't had like any major injuries or anything either.
Apparently, every team in the NFL wanted to sign him.
Yeah, a lot of teams seem to be interested.
There was like 6 or 7 teams that offered him contracts.
Broncos, Eagles, Panthers,
Chargers.
It is very funny that it came out like 30 minutes after the game was over. Like they were, I'm almost certain if the Chiefs don't win that game, they're like, never mind, bro. We're just don't even bother coming. I'm sure he's not assigning.
But remember who they play in 10 days.
Exactly.
The Texans. Yeah, that's true.
They'll probably elevate Clyde one more time because he's got one elevation left.
One more, which is the other reason I think they signed him.
You know who they need to get some snaps, bro? Give Carson Steele the rock, bro. Come on. Elevate that man for one game.
Football. I don't want Carson Steele.
That's fine.
He will fumble the ball.
Just give the man the rock. I want to see some Carson Steele snaps in 2025. I like.
So here's my thing. I think Pierce is somebody that, like I said, nothing against you, Mr. Mitchell. Nothing against your lovely wife who created a Twitter account to get on Twitter and defend you a couple weeks ago or whatever it was.
Admirable. I mean, I respect it. Yeah.
No hate. I just don't think that the experiment in Kansas City, it's over. It's done. They've decided Clyde is more important to elevate above you and use Rashard. And I think it's partially because I think Clyde or Elijah and Mr. Smith have a lot of the same role type of deal where they would use Elijah. They're more interested in using Brashard Smith.
Yeah.
Because
by the way, they did that again this game, which was cool. They did the ball to him a couple times and gave him some carries.
He's a kid. They want him to get more reps. They want him to do those things that they would traditionally. I legitimately think Elijah Mitchell was a safety blanket in case Brashard Smith didn't work out. That's what I feel like of his role. And I don't think he gives you what Isaiah Pacheco can give you. I don't think he gives you, and I think that's part of the reason Clyde's got the call up is because Clyde operates more like Isaiah. And I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing or a bad thing, but there's a lot of similarities. He doesn't run nearly as violently into the ground, so there's that. But as far as, Tucker made the joke. He was at the game, Mr. Franklin over at KCSN. He tailgated pretty hard. So when he was in the stands, he was a little loosey-goose with the comments. And they put Clyde in the game, and his direct quote was, "He's going to run right into the back of his guard." And then Clyde ran right into the back of his guard.
Yeah,
It happens.
that is
That's
known.
also a little bit Isaiah Pacheco-ish at points, because we've talked about Isaiah's vision on this podcast a number of times. And I've said 1,000 times, you cannot teach vision. He's just going to have to learn by getting a feel for it.
Yeah.
He either will get it or he won't. Clyde has some of those same things. So I don't think Elijah Mitchell gives you any more boost in that category, because Elijah Mitchell is mostly a receiving back who the Niners used to hand the ball off to because the rest of their backfield got killed. Like, that's what Elijah Mitchell's role was in 49. Well, you're all that's left. Here's the ball. Don't have a choice.
Yeah.
And, like, for that to be that, I just don't think it's a fit anymore. And now you're occupying a roster spot that they could use elsewhere. And if Damon Pierce was as much of a sought-after commodity as it's claimed to be, they can't just leave him on the practice squad forever. They only have so many protected practice squad players that they can protect, and they're eventually going to have to move somebody to an active roster spot. And if they feel like he can come in, quickly adapt to what they want him to do, I just feel like that's probably the end of Elijah Mitchell's time in Kansas City. I don't know what else. You can't keep 5. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no, I'd almost certainly guess once Damian Pierce,
awesome too.
Yeah, once Damian Pierce gets the playbook and he's good, like, yeah, I almost certainly can
So
predict
I just feel like Kareem and even maybe Isaiah was like, "Hey, dog, help Brett," and Brett was like, "Yeah, signed. We're done with this. Come on."
Well, I mean, and we always talk about like all these things about Brett and helping him. Like, Brett did try to help, right? He tried to trade for Breece Hall. Like he tried. We always talk about the moves that Beach doesn't make, but he definitely tries.
He tried to get Boye Mafe too.
Yeah,
and
he tried to get some cash rush
that.
too. Like, sometimes it just
I
doesn't
honestly
work out.
think probably the reason that the Boye the Breece Hall deal didn't get done is because he thought the Boye deal was done, and then the Seahawks backed out at the last minute, and that changed the math on everything. So
not for a lack of trying, but definitely it was a very convenient that Damian Pierce.
Now that Pierce is available, he provides you with a guy that you can use as a third down back. He can pass block. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He can run normal running plays. And he can return kicks
too.
Yeah, he can return kicks. I've been as big a fan of Nico as anyone probably has.
Me too.
About over the Nico experience, unfortunately. It's just
I was banging the drum for 90%
of
the year last year for Nico, but for some odd reason, like his vision and burst, it doesn't look like it did last year.
The burst, it's not even the vision, because the vision is the same as last year. But it feels like there's a half step missing.
Yeah, he kind of has the vision, but it's just something in his step is just like I mentioned in our group chat during the game. Like, it looks like he has sludge in his feet when he goes to cut now. Like, there's just, I don't know what happened to him, but it's just not quite the juice. And they've been putting Taekwon back there on some like kick returns, and that's been a little more inspiring than what Nico's been giving us already.
Well, we've talked about 1,000 times about the penalties that the special teams gets on every single return.
We're lucky.
And I almost wonder
so much time on everything else, because I'd spend a whole hour ripping Dave Tobe if I had to.
I almost wonder if some of the reason I almost wonder if some of the reasons some of those penalties are happening is Nico's, because if you watch it, he goes back and forth in his return. And it's not just a set up and cut. Well, like the last two of the returns he had in that game specifically jumped to mind when I was thinking about it, because he's cutting and he's changing direction, and then your guys that are blocking for you, all of a sudden, the defender that was on your left is now trying to get around to your right, and then he's trying to get around to your left, and now you're grabbing because you're like, where the hell is this dude go? What is happening behind me?
That's a very valid criticism.
What is going on?
Yeah, that's very valid.
And so,
very valid point.
But now, and again, some of it has to do with, we talked about one of the main culprits of the penalty problem that we're still all confused about why he's on the roster.
That's Dave Tobe. I'll tell you what, Dave Tobe. I need that guy to still be on my unit.
No offense, not trying to slander guys or have question their jobs, but Jack Cochran, all year has been a problem. And then
falls on Tobe.
But here's the other part. He's also got some guys that he didn't ask for playing special teams because Christian Fulton got one of those penalties.
Yeah.
And Christian Fulton is playing special teams because he can't get himself on the field on the defensive side of the ball.
Joshua Williams.
So they got to do something with it.
Joshua Williams is inactive for this game, I think. Why? That's your
gunner.
Yeah, that's literally your other gunner.
That's a weird one to me. And then Noel Williams not getting any defensive snaps again.
Yeah.
Interesting. And I think it's partially. But I think partially it's because you're paying Christian Fulton too much money.
Well,
you know what? We're gonna have you out of gunner.
One defensive snap, one, and then he played special.
And he wasn't good. And he wasn't good on either on the.
I'd still fire Dave Tobin to the sun. That's just me personally, but I'm about over it this year. I mean, this year
You've been ready to fire him into the sun since 2019.
Hey, and listen, we would be probably. I don't know. It came around. Eventually, I was right?
2 Super Bowl rings that we have if he
eventually, right?
So, yes,
it finally caught up. I was ahead of the 8 ball in this one, but yeah.
Never wrong, just early.
Never wrong. I like it, Tom.
Calm down,
all
NBA.
Kidding aside about special teams. The big thing, special teams, obviously that we had to talk about this game was the fact that Harrison Butker had 5 field goals. You just think about that,
and he made them.
Yeah, he made them, which was huge. Like, thank God that Harrison's kicking woes are over because that's just that was a stupid.
I told everybody to calm down on trying to put him out to pasture.
But if you just think about how this kind of ties back to the offense performance. Like the offense really, like on paper, had a really good day, right? Like they moved the ball really well. They had a lot of yards, a lot of production, ran the ball under center, all that stuff. And then red zone. And then they just couldn't figure it out in the red zone. Obviously, one called back as a stupid penalty, but couldn't figure it out in the red zone even late in the game. And, 5 field goals. If those 5 field goals were 5 touchdowns, that's 35. Like we had 2 other touchdowns, or 1 touchdown. So that would have been 42 points on the day for the Chiefs. Instead, we had 23.
Let me ask you guys this. Because we just talked about how much they ran the ball, and we just talked about all of those positive things. Am I the only one that feels like we get too cute inside the 20? Actually, it's not even inside the 20. It's inside the 10.
Oh, certainly. Yeah. I mean, there were still a couple.
That's he pulls up most of his exotic plays is inside the 10.
Yeah.
But they don't run the ball inside the 10-yard. Like, the Kareem touchdown.
Do is have a shotgun, and it's like, what's the point?
Right, and I think part of it is because they're wanting to make teams think that Pat's a threat. They're more of a threat, so that they can run out of the shotgun to make them have even more options to worry about, and that's fine. But if you're going to spread them out, and line up under center, and then you're even more dangerous. They just choose then you can throw out of play action because teams is down by the goal line think you're going to run the ball, they're going to dive into the run.
I've never really been a fan of like how cute we are inside the 10 because in my mind as a coach and as a play caller, I'm like, if I'm inside the 10, like this is where I'm calling my best plays, my most productive, my guys that are like they can do this stuff blindfolded in their sleep, like they have it down pat. Like your highest percentage of plays for success, like that's the card you pick from, not the cute little, hey, we got butterflies and fairies and we got weird formations and weird shit going on down here. Like I want my meat and potatoes card up here. Like this is what I'm choosing from. But we seem to pull out these weird formations and sometimes they work and it's great and it's kind of cool and all, but I'm like, I'm not banking on that. Like I want what works. And from the 10-yard in,
and for me, the first few years, they had a much more traditional red zone offense where they would run the ball and they would run certain route combinations inside the red zone, inside that 10-yard line specifically, and then they would once in a while pull out Snow Globe or Pokemon or Hungry Pig,
merry-go-round, ring around the rosy thing.
Right,
I liked Hungry Pig the best,
and so. That's when you can do those things. When you have a more traditional inside the 10 setup, and then you pull out some goofy shit nobody's ever seen before, that works more often. Now it feels like everything inside the 10 is just wild, wacky nonsense.
Goofy. Yeah.
And they always are trying to throw out of it, and teams are like, you're not going to run, so who cares? If you have a running back in Kareem Hunt that averages 3 yards a carry or more, and you are inside the 10 with a first down, how many chances does that give you? 4. Because at that point, you should be going for it. By the time you get to fourth down, even if you're not in the end zone, you should be at like the 1.
Yeah.
So first and second down get you inside the 5, inside the 3. If you want to do something weird or goofy, third down, and you know you're going for it on fourth, great. Then you just turn around and hand him the ball on fourth down and get your because he's more productive this year than the Eagles are with the freaking tush push, guys.
Yeah.
Short yardage, third and 1, third and 2, fourth and 2. He has a higher success rate than the tush push does.
Yeah, it's part of the offense that needs to be figured out, right?
I understand.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
It's when you're in the red zone. Obviously, the field is shrunk and the spacing is condensed, right? And a lot of the Chiefs' offense is very dependent on spacing. Now, the Chiefs have 2 big issues with their offense right now. One of them is a lack of explosive running ability. And again, that's not a shot at anybody necessarily. Kareem is Kareem.
He's not
but
2018.
Down to that short yardage and the red zone. I think sometimes I do think the coaches overthink it, but also I think in terms of the passing concepts, they really they tried the back shoulder fade to Rice, which would have which was close. Like Pat was off on that one.
If he throws that to the outside, it's a touchdown.
Yeah, like Rice had the leverage, but it's like I think they just waste too many play. I mean, again, you have 4 attempts, but it always feels like at least one of those attempts is going to something that is just very telegraphed or because for them to run the ball successfully in those short yardage situations, they're bringing in the extra linemen. They're lining up in the full house set. It's a little bit different. And I get it. There is just a difference between converting that 4th and 1 at midfield and that 1 yard line, at the red zone or the red zone, the goal line. You may not think it that way, but there's just a level of intensity there at the goal line, right? Defenses amp up and they're going to give you their best shot, and you can't it's not, at least not in the region scene. They're not going to pull some play action. 4th and 1 at midfield, you can pull that and take a shot deep if you're feeling real ballsy. But you're not going to do that. 4th and 1 at the goal line. If you're set up to run, you're going to set up to run. I think it is a combination of the skill sets not matching, but also the coaching staff being too dedicated to just trying to find a workaround versus just letting your guys go out there and play ball. And kind of like what Randy said, like let them do what's natural to them, let them figure it out. Let them run around a little bit and take a shot. I think, I hope that they'll try a few more of those shoulder fades type plays to Rice down the stretch. But it's tough.
She can be very good in the red zone. Just gotta throw the balls in the right spot and you'll be good.
You have Travis Kelce.
Yeah, still got Trav. I mean, technically he did have a red zone touchdown, which was a very good play call. That just got called back. That was sometimes those little creative things do work a little bit, but just gotta get away from the predictability of some of these. Like Tom said, there are definitely some, especially like if you look at the last red zone opportunity before the end of the fourth quarter, where they had an opportunity to potentially win the game, and they end up kind of wasting a couple tries and had to just settle for a field goal to go to overtime. Like that's going to be something that later on, like you're going to need to score in that situation. We're going to start needing to score in those situations more and more. We're not going to have maybe as many opportunities to kind of get away with that type of stuff.
And they did it on the touchdown before that with Kareem. Hey, here's Kareem Hunt. Good luck.
But ultimately, when they needed the most offense, was able to drive down the field and when a field goal is actually all you needed to win the game, they were in a good spot. That's all you needed. When a field goal is a game-winning one, then all of a sudden it's not as tasking. But that'll definitely be something that we look forward to as the week goes on and we move to the Cowboys game on Thanksgiving here. The Chiefs still have life.
And now that we're going to get into the Cowboys game, before we get into the Cowboys game, and you're going to be sitting at home on Thanksgiving, and you're going to be sitting at home a lot of this week because a lot of people are off work and kids are out of school. You're going to have some time on your hands, and we should probably talk to you about our friends. Our friends are going to give you some stuff to do. Our friends over at Underdog. We're going to hide Randy and Tom-ish for a second with the banner because that's how this works. Our friends over at Underdog have a bunch of promos that they're running all the time. I don't know what they are off the top of my head this week because I've been signed up for a while now. But if you go over to our friends at Underdog and you use Kingdom Says, I'm sure Garrett's probably looking rapidly for what they've got running at the moment.
Oh, I wasn't. I just figured you'd knock out.
Oh, I just figured you were nodding. So there's a bunch of stuff they offer for new members. Sometimes it is a deposit
$5 to get 100 in bonus funds right now. I think that's their thing.
Okay,
deposit $5, get 100 bonus.
Hop over to our friends at Underdog. There's all kinds of games. There's college basketball. There's NBA. There's the NFL. All Thanksgiving Day. There's a game on Friday. There's games all week. Go over there, get you a little bit of some pick'em options, get you some fantasy drafts because they have all of those options for you too. Get involved with our friends at Underdog. Use code Kingdom Says, and you'll get their bonus options that they've got up for you right now. And then you can have a little more riding on it, so you're a little more focused and a little less interested in whatever your uncle is complaining about at the table on Thanksgiving or whatever grandma's in the kitchen losing her mind about with the pasta salad or whatever that may be. You can just worry about, whoever's getting 20, if there's somebody's going higher or lower than 25 yards on the ground or receiving or who's throwing 2 touchdowns or, all of those different options for your NFL options. You got, like I said, college basketball, hockey, a lot of hockey going on right now. Love our hockey. No, I do. The rest of the people look at me like I'm an alien, but
hey, the Ducks are back. I hear the Ducks are back.
They are playing much better. So it's been a weird year. So, go over see our friends at Underdog, and now we're going to talk about the Cowboys game. Yeah, because the Cowboys did something fun and made Nick Sirianni look like an idiot on Sunday.
Yeah,
and that's always a good time for all of us because that dude
Eagles.
Sucks. So
I saw that initial score. I was doing some work on the weekend, and I was like, it's 21-0. Wow, this is all right. That one's over. And lo and behold,
not so fast, my friend.
So fast. Yeah.
I saw the final score. I was like, what in the hell happened? I was like, this is ridiculous.
That would be Dak Prescott, sir.
Dak Prescott's been having a pretty decent year so far over in Dallas.
Well, that and the Eagles' offense sucks, but that's a separate conversation.
That's a separate conversation. But yeah, coming up with the Dallas Cowboys on Thanksgiving, obviously a really big matchup. People are estimating this might even be just the most viewed NFL game ever. Because Thanksgiving, 2 teams like this, there's a good chance we break some records here with the amount of people, which we all know that means one thing.
We talked about it with Randy to start the show. His brother is a Cowboys fan from the 90s, and most of them haven't figured out that it's not still the 90s, so they're all still fans.
Yeah, so as we know, when Chiefs are in big games that the whole world's going to see, what we know is going to happen. They're probably going to embarrass themselves, right? I mean, that's probably a fair thing to say. They're probably going to look not great for the first couple quarters, but I have a lot of confidence going into this game versus the Cowboys. Obviously, the Cowboys team are about the middle of the road where we're at, but for very different reasons, I think. Their defense has been very not good for the majority of the year.
What's that smell?
Yeah, very bad defense is what they have over in Dallas. Obviously, trading away Micah Parsons before the season.
This is a get right for our offense type game.
Yeah, definitely a lot of opportunity now. They did add some juice with trading for Quinnen Williams. He has been a good force for them for these past couple of weeks that he's been there. So that has been, Jerry may doing a little bit of wrong in his right.
He had to do something because Kenny Clark hadn't done squat since they got him from Mike.
Exactly. But overall, I mean, most of the Cowboys' success this year has come on the offensive side of the ball with how well, Dak and CD a little bit, but mostly George Pickens. That's been the new kind of wide receiver one in Dallas from what a lot of people are saying. He's having a really good season after getting traded there from Pittsburgh. One of those situations that just needed fresh starts for both sides, I think, and he's been really balling out in Dallas. They also have a running back, Javonte Williams, that's been doing really good, who was a free agent that the Chiefs said, no, we're gonna sign Elijah Mitchell instead. Actually, we're gonna do that instead. So he's been having a good year. Overall, I mean, the Cowboys are a very polarizing team. Sometimes very, very productive. Sometimes very clown show type. So
polarizing is the exact word I think to use for them, because there are times where they look fantastic, like they're playing lights out offensively, like the defense will show up, and then the next game it is straight clown car. Like it is, I don't know what's going on. Like they don't even resemble like an NFL football team at times. I'm like they're one of the hardest teams for me to figure out this year by far. Like it's a coin toss each week. So I think they used their good game this week, so they're going to fall apart next week. So
to highlight Randy's point, they lost to the Eagles 24-20. They beat the Giants 40-37 time. Turned around and got walked by the Bears. Then they played the Packers to a 40-40 overtime tie. Then they beat up on the Jets. Then they lost to the Panthers. Then they blew out the Commanders. Then they got dog walked by the Broncos. Then they got beat by the Cardinals. The Jacoby Brissett-led Cardinals at that point in time.
Yeah.
Okay? Then
super
they beat the
up and down.
Like
it's just the weirdest Jekyll and Hyde team ever this year.
Yeah, they're just a really, really bizarre case this year. I feel like you never know what you're getting with them, which is good for the. I mean, I feel like this is a good matchup for the Chiefs, especially with their defense not being super up to the task right now, and them missing some corners. I don't know. I think Trayvon Diggs is he still out?
He's on IR.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to be. I don't think he's eligible to come back yet.
Yeah, I don't know. He's been out for a little while now, so they've been really struggling on the defensive side of the ball with some of those corners. I mean, they still have Deron Bland, but we know he's not really. He's kind of overrated. Outside of that, their secondary is really.
They did. Really I skipped one. They did beat the Raiders. They did beat up on the Raiders because that was somehow a Monday Night Football game that I tried vividly to. I mean, that was a Monday Night Football game I tried to vividly scrub from my brain.
Sanders beat up on the Raiders. Yeah, so we know everyone beats up on the Raiders for sure. Yeah.
Hey, Randy, he hit a check down for 66 yards. You'd be nice to Shedeur Sanders.
He had that nice 53-yard.
Yeah.
Kid's trash.
So what do you guys think? What do you guys think about the Cowboys? Tom, what do you think about the Cowboys? Are we going to beat them or what?
Well,
also, we apologize. This one's going to be long.
It's going to be a little bit of a long one, yeah.
Here's what I think. I think every time this season, I have said, I'm not really worried. It has blown up in my face. And we just talked about how the Cowboys team can go from, yin-yang. So I'm going to say I am so nervous about this Cowboys game. I think they're a very talented roster. I think their general manager / owner is a brilliant football mind and has constructed a roster and made very few questionable moves over the last however long. I think that Dak Prescott is definitely a top 10 quarterback. And I don't know how we'll contain a guy like Javonte Williams. They've got some weapons on offense. They've got the players to hang. Their defense has a lot of guys who have names and who have signed contracts to play professional football in the NFL. That is a thing that they have on their defense.
They did do that.
And, including former number 1 overall pick Jadeveon Clowney, who is a football player.
He's on the Cowboys?
Yeah, I forgot he was there.
Yeah, they acquired Mr. Clowney after saying farewell to Micah Parsons in what is unanimously considered an excellent move for the Cowboys. So
just like trading Luka for the Mavs was universally considered great. Yes, same concept.
Yeah, I think that the Cowboys are a good football team, and I do not see myself underestimating them at all.
Well, we know what there's a gun held to Tom's head. Kyle, what do you think about the Cowboys?
The So the Cowboys' best unit is their offense, and the problem
Yeah.
for the Cowboys is the best unit for the Chiefs for the last couple of years is the defense.
Yeah.
And this defense, while Javonte Williams is great this year, he's not going to scare you like a Derrick Henry or a Jonathan Taylor or a Saquon Barkley.
He's sneaky productive, but not. Yeah, he's not changing.
But the real problem is I don't know. Like CeeDee Lamb is great. So is George Pickens. They don't really have tight ends that make you go, oh no.
Ferguson is having
Like
a season, but
Jake Ferguson is fine.
Stop it.
Jake Ferguson is fine.
Jake Ferguson
He
is
just doesn't
totally
make you go.
underrated.
I
Great tight
love
end.
Jake
Yes.
Ferguson.
Yes, Tom, I know you're going to do they are the scariest team on planet Earth bit. I get it.
Kyle, the last time you started naming players, we manifested Maxwell Hairston getting his first NFL interception. We have to tread lightly here.
Cole
I
Bishop.
don't care. I don't care. Cole Bishop has played well ever since I talked about him. So
We talked
congrats,
a little
Cole
shit on
Bishop.
Devin
You're welcome.
Lloyd. He had a good game against us. Yeah.
We turned Cole Bishop into Ed Reed.
Yeah.
He's played like it ever since too. It's weird.
Yes,
He's
he
been
has
really
been
good.
crazy recently. Yeah.
yeah, thanks for that, Kyle.
So I look, their offense is their best unit, and while I think they will probably score more points than the Colts did, I think they're probably getting to 24. That defense is atrocious on the back end, especially. They are injured, and they were bad before they were injured.
Yeah.
This is a game the offense for the Chiefs has to take advantage of. Their defensive line is fine. They added Quinn Williams.
Yeah.
He's very good. The biggest concern I have in this game is the fact that Trey Smith is probably not playing in it.
That's a big one. Yeah. Losing Trey with a high and low ankle sprain. Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
I mean, he got rolled up on, and it was nasty. It did not look good. That was immediately like, ugh. And you saw the run game productivity drop a significant bit as soon as he went out. And it's not a shot against Mike Caliendo, but it's just not great. So
noticeable drop between your highest
we
paid
discussed
guard
this, and it's really hard because it's a 4-day turnaround. But I would play Jalen Moore at right guard.
Yeah, we did mention
That's what I would do.
We had talked a little bit that
it's about having your best 5 linemen on the field.
Yeah,
and with Trey Smith out, I think I would play Jalen Moore at right guard. I just think I would. I think I would play him right next to Jawan Taylor, and go from there.
I'm definitely in that same boat with you of getting the best.
Mike is fine as a backup. Mike is fine as a backup, and if you need him in a hurry and you need him to just insert him in, great. We saw it last year. He can get you through for like a game. Well, I think you got most of that game to get you through last week.
Yeah.
And I don't know that starting him at right guard is the best answer. Maybe he comes out and proves me wrong and he's great and shuts Quinn Williams down. I doubt it.
Yeah, for the short week, they'll probably end up going with them. But I think if Trey end up missing a couple weeks with this, which I think there's a decent chance he ends up missing a couple weeks with this, I would definitely just give more of the reps in practice and see. I mean, unless Caliendo really impresses this game and shows up, but even the limited tape that we've seen from him this year hasn't been the best. You know, it's always good to see him only in spurts.
It has been better than last year's tape.
It has been better because we've only seen him in spurts.
That's because last year's tape we needed to burn.
Yeah. You don't have to see the slow burn of the downfall of them. But I think it's something to consider. Yeah.
But the offense has the most responsibility this week.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It by far. And like I said, the defense does not scare me. Their offense is good. They have a good offense. Now, they're going to be without Tyler Guyton, who is one of their tackles. That's a big deal for an offensive line that is not extraordinarily deep in Dallas.
Yeah. And Pickens did not practice today.
I saw that.
Yep.
Short weeks, all like estimated practices, I think, but still.
Right. But so my thing is, I don't, I guess it'll depend on how much Christian Fulton plays and how much Noel Williams plays. But the offensive for the Cowboys, you've got the corners to match up with receivers like that. You have them. That's not the problem with the Chiefs' defense. The Chiefs' defense has struggled with tight ends, and then when they decide to not pay attention to the running game.
Yeah,
and I don't
no,
think that's going to be a problem because they're now in playoff mode. And Spags in the playoffs is like, you're not running the ball, so you better figure something else out.
yeah,
So for
that's the side
me,
of
this
ball I
game
don't
comes
worry
down
about,
to
defense.
this comes down to two things. Don't turn the ball over. We lost turnover battle 2-0 and still won that game against Indy. And one of those fumbles, one of the turnovers was inside our 5-yard line, and the other one was inside their 5-yard line. That's 14 points right there that it completely disappeared. Garrett wanted to talk about field goals versus touchdown earlier. How about field goals and touchdowns versus nothing?
Yeah,
Because that occurred.
2 more that I lost. Yeah, 2 more. You could have had even more points. You could have had 50.
And I do want to point out the leadership on this team. Kareem was upset. He hadn't fumbled in God knows how long. He does not lose fumbles. He does not fumble the football. That is not a Kareem Hunt problem. Kareem came over the bench and was fuming at himself and Travis didn't even let his butt hit the bench before he scooped him up and told him, "No, we got you, bro. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's okay."
No, really, the
And that's a
sideline
big
reaction.
deal.
The sideline reaction to this game was one that really, I think, because honestly, like early on, like the first couple quarters versus the Colts, like they would show the sideline just completely dead and lifeless, and that's how it seemed to be for the past couple weeks.
You mentioned it in the group chat. It's been like that all year.
It's been a good amount of time where there's just absolutely no life. So them managing to draw up some energy and really just kind of get back into it. Yeah, it's a testament to the leadership of Travis, Chris, like just those guys that are just the guys that you need to do that, right? Like those are your staple pieces. Those are the leaders of the team. Like these are the guys you need to rely upon to do this stuff. And they haven't really, it's been lackluster for most of this year. So it's good to see that they end up stepping up and coming together.
And they came out flat. They came out flat in the third quarter after the halftime. They had 3 and out right after half.
Stink it up still. Yeah.
But
jeez.
The fourth quarter, they did the flip switch thing, which they've done for like 3 years now, and it worked.
Sure did.
They flipped the switch this time, and the lights turned on. And so, for me, don't turn the ball over and play with the same confidence and energy you had in the fourth quarter and overtime of this Colts game and that you had in the 3 weeks prior to Buffalo.
Yeah.
Do that,
and
you'll beat this Cowboys team by 20. Don't do that, and this is going to be another nightmare, blood pressure, heart attack inducing circus.
Yeah, this team, tell you, if you have a weak heart, I would not encourage you to watch the Chiefs on a weekly basis. I'll tell you what, because it is,
take your aspirin and your blood pressure medication.
So let's close up here. There's a couple other reports or notes on the injury report. Obviously, Noah Gray and Trey Smith both DNP. Anticipated.
I'm just happy Noah walked to the locker room.
Yeah, I would guess on a short week Noah might be out too, just not passing the concussion protocol and everything.
Jared Wiley, you better be healthy.
Time to actually get some Jared Wiley snaps probably. Leo Chenal, Rashee Rice, and Xavier Worthy were all limited. Once again, this is more of an estimation day, so it's just you're not super limited about it. So Xavier and Rashee both had those injuries late in the game. Leo popping up is not fun, but like I said, just an estimation. Hopefully he should be good.
Probably getting some work done.
What?
He's probably getting some work done in the training room.
Yeah, definitely getting some work done. And there's a couple other guys that were full participants. Patrick Mahomes had a groin thing that he was a full participant. We saw that in the game. I think he came up a little weird after one of those sacks. So he should be good. On the Cowboys side, though, Tyler Guyton, DNP. Osa Digizua, their defensive tackle, DNP. George Pickens, DNP with a knee and calf. So that's not good. Then Kevontae Turpin had an illness. There's a load of other limited participants and stuff from the Cowboys, but both teams are a little banged up for sure. Like both teams are definitely not the healthiest they could be. I would still probably favor Kansas City a little bit in that right though. So let's get some score predictions and get out of here.
You're not gonna let Randy tell you how he feels?
Well, Randy, you can tell us in the score prediction how you feel. That's kind of the comment. He talked at the beginning of the Cowboys discussion.
I'm just giving you shit,
Yeah.
Garrett. We've
Yeah.
been here for an hour and a half.
It's all good. You guys were, my sentiments are as
Are
usual
very similar.
lined up with your
Wait.
guys as well. So
Wait a minute. Which side? Because I was the other end, and Tom was at they're the most scary team on
I'm
the
leaning
planet.
a
So
little
who are
bit
you
more
lining up
Kyle's
with?
side. I'm leaning a little more Kyle's side, but it's
Not a robot like Tom.
like I said. I think this is a great opportunity for our offense in one of those get right games. Like Dallas's defense is a hodgepodge. I mean, they've been bad all year. They've been real bad. So if we come in with a game plan and stick to it like we had this week, like run the ball, use play action, get our guys moving in the directions that they're supposed to and built to do, like get Kareem going downhill. Get Rasheed and get Xavier going side to side. Get Travis in the hole. Like, put our guys in the best position to be successful and do what we know they're really good at doing. And we're going to hang high 30s, flirt with 40, I think, this time. So I'm shooting for a 38-23 ball game.
Wow. That's very nice. That's impressive. Yeah, that'd be a
Hey guys,
great
I have a question for Tom, real quick. Tom, can you tell me what a Siobhan Ravel Jr. is?
He is a second round cornerback out of East Carolina State, who probably would have been, or East Carolina University. I think he's 6'3", 204. He might be lighter than that.
Kids, guys, and Tom knows who that is because he was a rookie this year.
He was.
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about him, I think, on.
Yeah, he's their starting corner next to Deron Bland.
He's a baller.
Hey, what is a Reddy Stewart? Who is Reddy Stewart?
Yeah, I don't know that one.
I didn't think so.
I don't know
Stumped the truck
that
on
one.
that one. Yeah.
Yeah, Reddy Stewart is their starting nickel cornerback. He's been in the league for a year. He played at Troy.
Troy. Oh.
Okay. Their backup cornerbacks are, I'm going to butcher this poor gentleman's
Nick's brother,
name, so
Troy.
I apologize in advance. Trikwezi Bridges? Trikwezi?
I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
He's a rookie from Florida.
You can't even pronounce it right, so I feel like you.
Trikweze Bridges.
Well, that seems like an easy one. Whatever
Yeah.
you said. I'm sure that sounds like an easy one.
Correct. The other backup corner behind that's the guy backing up Deron Bland. The other guy is CJ Goodwin, who's a 10-year vet who I didn't know was still in the league.
He's good.
The starting safeties are Malik Hooker. Yeah, he's so good. He's backing up Siobhan Ravel Jr.
He's pretty good win.
The safety next to Malik Hooker is Donovan Wilson.
Isn't he like 90?
He's also been in the league for a good
He's
amount of time.
30. He's played for 7 years, and he's out of Texas A&M. He looks 90 in his team photo, though, so I will give you that. Guys, the secondary is the Chiefs have the advantage in the secondary against that secondary. Kenneth Murray Jr. and Logan Wilson are linebackers with Demarion Overshone. Maris Leafau is there. Shamar James is there. Remember the names, Tom, we were talking about earlier Tom mentioned that the Dallas Cowboys defense has names on it. If you're an OU fan, you remember Kenneth Murray Jr. Demarion Overshone's a name people have talked for a lot about that too, Garrett. But
Kenneth Murray go
to injury.
Didn't Kenneth Murray go to Oklahoma?
Yes, that's why I said if you're an OU fan, you'll know who Kenneth Murray Jr. is because he's an OU kid.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
But the back seven of this defense is available to attack. Their defensive line's all right. They got Azaraku, Kenny Clark, Quentin Williams, and then Odigizua, which fine.
And
Josh
Jadeveon
Williams, he's backing up Odigizua, or is backing up Azaraku. But and James Houston is there. So
he's been
congrats.
had a little
James
production
Houston's
still
still
a
there.
little bit. Yeah.
But you just watched Josh Simmons. Brandon Thorne tweeted it out. The snatch technique that Josh Simmons is using
Beautiful.
is not just snatching them down to the ground. He's taking souls with it. And it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but as a rookie, it's absurd that he's using one of the most difficult to execute blocking methods. Because if you don't know what the snatch technique is, you're basically taking the dude's hands when he's trying to put them on you, grabbing them and pulling him forward, and then burying his face in the dirt while you lay on his head and his chest
It's a beautiful thing when it's
from
done
on
right.
top. And he does it really well. So if you're coming
Casuals
off,
always think it's holding.
always. If you're coming against the left side of the defensive or the offensive line, good luck. And by the way, when Jawan Taylor lines up correctly, he's fine. So you have the advantage all over. It's why I'm more in line with Randy's 38-23, except the Cowboys have given up 40 or close to it like multiple
I
times this year.
wanted to go on the plus side of 40, but I throttled back just to.
Well, let me do it for you because I think they're not. I don't think they're kicking field goals against this defense. I think they're scoring touchdowns. I think they're going to score quite a few of them, and I don't know that they're. And I think part of that's going to be because they don't have to do it from inside the 10. I think they're going to get some receivers running butt booty naked open, to quote a couple of different very famous individuals who have used that term, and they're going to score some points. So I'm going to go 42-24 Kansas City. Because I do think the Cowboys are going to put up points. I think they're going to score 24, maybe even 28. But that defense is.
I don't think they'll
abysmal.
hit 30. I don't think.
I don't either.
Interesting, very interesting. Tom, do you want to go last? Or do you want me to go last?
No, I feel like you probably shouldn't let me go last. I feel like I'll suck the air of the room. So
He's going to pick the Cowboys to win.
The Cowboys have a very good team, and the Chiefs also have a very good team. And if we're being honest, it is difficult to predict what either of these teams are going to do. There's some parallels here in the sense that they tend to be both Jekyll and Hyde. So, after a lot of deliberation, I have settled on something that I think is a very...
We're bringing back Tom's playoff picks, boys. He's picking against us all the way through the rest of the season.
I am going to pick a very safe option. I think the score is going to be 24-24. That's right.
I knew it. I knew he was going to say that. I knew the exact score he was going to say, too. You guys can't read my mind, but I can tell you that was the exact score that I knew he was going to say in my head. 24-24. I knew it.
Killing me, Tom. Killing me.
You're not even picking against us. You're picking a tie?
Picking a tie.
It's almost worse.
Second tie on the Cowboys season.
It just feels right in my soul.
Man, I should be. This is probably what Oz feels like. Oz the Mentalist. Like, bro,
call you Miss Cleo.
I could just see that right in my head that Tom was going to say that. Yeah, Tom, good bit.
Garrett is Oz or Miss Cleo or whichever your favorite fake psychic mentalist is.
Yeah, I knew that was happening. Okay, well that's
guys. I don't know if you can tell, but we've been doing this for an hour and 45 minutes, and it's slightly come off the rails. I don't know if anybody's noticed or not.
Yeah, if you guys are still with us, we do appreciate you.
Yeah, if you're still sticking around,
it's been a long one. We do apologize.
We had a bunch to cover. We had a bunch to cover. We had to briefly talk about the Broncos for like 7 seconds.
So my thinking is I was pretty honest with my thoughts when I first previewed this game, that national primetime game, all the eyes in the world are going to be on the Chiefs. So I have I fully expect the Chiefs to come out and embarrass themselves. I really do. Like, I don't expect, unfortunately, this offense is in the point where I still cannot expect them to come out and have a phenomenal game plan. I mean, running the ball was good. Running the ball did help. Hopefully we can continue to do that and continue to actually score in the red zone, but I'm not going to bank on it. I'll tell you, I'm not going to bank on it. And the other thing I'm very opposite of you guys is how the Cowboys are going to do too. I don't think the Cowboys offense is going to score a lot either. I think this might end up being a really low scoring game. That's an absolute grind for the Chiefs. Just an absolute, just trudging through the mud of trying to get through this game and get this game completed. I'm going to go 17-13 Chiefs. That might be like a pretty low bet especially compared to everyone else besides Tom. But I just don't see, until they prove me otherwise, I need this offense to show me that they can consistently come out and be productive like that. But I do think the Cowboys are kind of like the Chargers in a sense, where like the Cowboys are always going to Cowboys, right? Like they're not gonna seal the deal on Thanksgiving versus the Chiefs. This seems like one it's too easy for them to lose. It's set up for them. They're not probably going to make the playoffs anyways unless they were to like win out completely. But it just feels like a setup that it's kind of the culmination of the Cowboys season that they end up messing up somehow and falling to us. But I don't think it'll be pretty, and I don't think the Chiefs are going to necessarily impress the national audience that they're on. But I hope I'm proven wrong. I do hope I'm proven wrong. I still think the Chiefs will come out on top, though, despite all of that. So,
Did you just say 17-14?
17-13, actually. Yeah, 17-13. Yeah, so it's opposite. It just feels like one of those games. We're all gonna be sitting there with all of our families, and they're all gonna be like, "Wow, aren't the Chiefs supposed to be like really good and like high explosives and all this stuff?" And you're gonna be like, "Yeah, we just kind of suck,"
No, I'm gonna be like, "Don't talk to me." That's how that's
exactly. Like, bro, don't even. Yeah, so I think it's
I
gonna be.
I have no words.
Usually
Walk
the Chiefs
away.
on these major holidays don't impress us, whether it's Christmas or Black Friday or whatever dumb holiday.
Please don't remind me of Christmas. We still have another one of those this year, and the Raiders
so
game
usually just the track record of the Chiefs don't show up very impressively. But I hope I'm proven wrong. Hopefully these guys don't have a lot of turkey in their belly before the game, and they're really inspired to get turkey in their belly after the game.
Don't they play at noon?
No, it's 4:30.
Is it a noon
game? Isn't it?
No, it's a 3:30.
Oh man, it does give them time to try to get lunch. Although
3:30 game.
They're on the road, so they won't have that opportunity.
Yeah, I wonder if it's on Fox. No, it's on CBS.
CBS, because remember, nobody has broadcast rights to anything anymore, so it's just all over the place, and they just drew out of a hat.
Are they going to have a turducken?
Romo Nance.
Are they going to have
a turducken? That'll happen.
That should inspire the boys.
I just wonder if they're going to dress them up, because remember the Christmas game that they won, they had them dressed up in Santa Claus outfits.
Yeah,
are they wearing like pilgrims outfits, or are we wearing the traditional? They might get kicked out if they try to put on the traditional Native American garb.
I want to see Big Mike just rip one of those turkey legs off that thing and go to town. That's what I want to see.
That's true. Yeah, we need the Big Mike to have a turducken leg in his belly. So
it means he's got to ball out, and he was noticeable in the Colts game. It's funny how that works when you don't play. Never mind.
The run defense has looked a little bit more noticeably good since a certain Big Mike rejoined the team.
Weird.
Not surprising.
Ooh,
yeah,
what a thunk.
Who would have ever guessed? Not us, like 6-7 months ago. Not us. So. All right, well, that's everything that we've got for you today. We appreciate everyone for rocking with us that long. If you've been with us for the whole hour and 47 minutes, we appreciate you. What else you got to do besides listen to fun Chiefs talk? Because this is actually still fun. We missed last week of not fun Chiefs talk. Who wants to listen to that anyways? We're here for fun Chiefs talk. And spoiler alert: if the Chiefs would have lost, we would have had fun draft talk today on our episode. So either way, it would have been a fun episode. I know Tom was chomping at the bit to try to do that. So we. Well, you'll have your time, Tom, but your time is not now. Your time is not now.
We could have brought in some more Barika Penu talk.
I don't know who that is, and I'm not supposed to know for another couple months.
What? Who the hell is that?
Running back from NDSU who's been tearing it up, baby.
Doesn't matter. Not draft season yet. It doesn't matter.
Unless we're talking about Jeremiah Love, I have no interest in running back draft talk. I have no concern.
I've got lots of interest in the peen.
I know Tom's got a lot of interest in all that. So yeah, Tom, you're gonna have your time. But for now, we're gonna get out of here. Appreciate everyone for rocking with us once again. And be sure to check us out at Kingdom Says Pod, Facebook, X, Instagram, wherever you get your podcasts at. We will be on there, Spotify, Apple Music, and definitely check us out on YouTube. We've got a lot of exciting stuff coming up, especially for the month of December. Got a lot of exciting opportunities coming up.
You might be able to get some fun disc codes to use to play some over-unders or something, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
That's a great one. That's a great tease, Kyle. That's a great tease. So definitely keep on the eye out for that and just the other good stuff that you have our way. Definitely check out our YouTube. It's great place for all of our content and everything like that. Good one-stop shop for it. And that's it.
And you can see us all freak out while we're doing this when we make different
figure out if our cameras are working or you can
experience the technical issues live.
Yeah, you can see, you can figure it all out. So we appreciate you rocking with us, Chiefs Kingdom. Have a great rest of your Thanksgiving week. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone, and have a good, safe holiday. Don't get a little too crazy. You can go crazy, but not too crazy. So just always remember that, and
It's
don't
hard
hurt
to
any
watch the Chiefs
relatives.
from jail. Make sure you watch.
Yeah,
Make sure you're not at.
Try to behave with the relatives, the in-laws coming in.
No,
Just
Wolfie behavior. Okay,
just
no
gotta
Wolfie
get
behavior.
through the one dinner, and then you're good. You don't gotta worry about it. You might just slog through some stupid Chiefs questions on Thanksgiving, but hey, that'll happen. That'll happen on
If
this.
you just go hop over to our friends at Underdog, you can distract them by showing them that stuff and telling them to leave you alone. It's fine.
Yeah, or just put on like I was gonna say a Christmas movie, but it's not Christmas yet. And it's
No.
Thanksgiving. I don't know. There's not really Thanksgiving
The
movies.
Chiefs have a holiday movie. You can throw that on. Go ahead and do
Yeah,
that.
but
You,
if the
good.
Chiefs are
That's
sucking,
Hallmark.
if the
You
Chiefs are
give
sucking, you don't want
you give the holiday its due process. Like Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. Like I'm tired of people trying to skip over Thanksgiving, getting all
Facts,
this
yeah.
Christmas.
Oh, I agree with you.
Like,
Right. Christmas stuff cannot come out until after Thanksgiving is over.
oh,
That's completely.
that is 100% my book as well. So
Mm-hmm.
give Thanksgiving its due.
Thanksgiving's
Enjoy your
great.
friends. Enjoy
Eat
your
all the
family.
good food.
Be thankful for everything that we have in this
Get you some
world, and
stuffing.
have a great one.
Hell yeah. That's a great way. Yeah. So have a great Thanksgiving, everyone, and we will see you guys on the next episode